So let's take a look at margin of safety. The margin of safety is simply, to put it, it's a measurement of a sort that helps us to see and realize how far are we off from the break-even point. It's calculated very simply. It's basically sales with the actual or budgeted minus break-even point, and that will equal our margin of safety. Margin of safety can also be, these are all dollar representations, and we can also represent it in a percentage, which is calculated as margin of safety divided by total sales. Yeah, and that will give us the percentage of margin of safety. Very simple. If we take an example of, let's say, sales, we have a sales that is $100,000. We have break-even point. We know the break-even point, which is $87,500. Now we can calculate margin of safety, which is $12,500. Yeah, 100,000 minus 87,500. That's 12,500. And in terms of the percentage, that's going to be 12,500 divided by $100,000. That gives us 12.5%. Yeah, that's basically it. This is very simple. Take a look at operating leverage. Operating leverage is a type of a measure which shows us how sensitivity of operating income to a given percentage change, percentage change in sales. Now, the operating leverage is a type of a multiplier. It's a multiplier. And if operating leverage is high, high operating leverage means that a small percentage of change in sales will produce a much larger percentage in net operating income. So the higher the operating leverage, the better it is for the operating income. Now, the formula, how to calculate the degree of operating leverage is very simple. That's basically contribution margin divided by net operating income. Yes, so let's take a look at an example. Let's have a small example here. We have two companies, company one and company two. Company one has sales of $100,000. Company two also has sales of $100,000. The variable costs are going to be different. One is going to be $60,000, the other one will be $30,000, and therefore our contribution margins are going to be very different. Yes, we will have $40,000 for the first company and $70,000 for the second company. Second company is having a much higher contribution margin. However, our fixed costs are going to be shifting us into a different direction. So $30,000 is for the company one, and we're going to have twice as much, $60,000, for company two. Now, this means that our operating profit is going to be exactly the same, but for two different reasons. So this is basically it for now. This is our scenario for two companies. Now, to calculate the degree of operating leverage, for the first company, company one, is going to be a contribution margin, which is 40,000, divided by the sales, and net operating income, which is the $10,000 equals 4. So this is a degree of operating leverage of a company one, and DOL, degree of operating leverage of company two, will be 70,000 divided by also $10,000, because both of those have exactly the same operating profit, which equals to 7. So as you can see, in the second case, in the company number two, we have 7 as a degree of operating leverage, which is much higher, and therefore the calculations that I will show you next will demonstrate how it will affect to any increase in sales. So let's say that in both of our cases, in both of these companies' cases, the sales has increased 20% in both cases. So what does it mean? How will that affect the operating profit? The operating profit of the company one, yeah, will increase 20% multiplied by 4. 4 is the degree of operating leverage. And that will mean that our operating profit will increase 80%. Now the operating profit for the second company, also 20% increase in sales, but the degree of operating leverage is 7. And therefore, the operating profit will increase 140%.